Alright, CNT140, we are back for work on our BidSpec on our patch panel now. Again, just kind of orientation. I went to the content page, BidSpec files. I'm on the BidSpec notes page, and then I have the patch panel section. I'm opening up the notes on the patch panel. Let's take a look what's here real quick. First, at this point, you should have, we did our site survey, we picked out our closet, we started the spreadsheet for the horizontal cabling, you know, how much cabling we need. We added a new tab to start tallying all the equipment we're adding for our plan, you know, adding on the horizontal cabling and the outlets and those kinds of things. We added to the spreadsheet the horizontal cabling. We started working on our maps to show what we're doing, closet and those kinds of things. And then last week we added to our spreadsheet the equipment for the work area, outlet box, faceplate, jacks, raceway, those kinds of things. What we're going to do now, if you think what we just got done doing in the lab, you know, like roughly 2 weeks ago we pulled the horizontal cabling. Last week we terminated the work area outlet. This week we terminated the patch panel. So now that we just got done talking patch panels and terminated patch panel, we're going to add the patch panel to our BidSpec. We're going to add that piece to our project. So to start off with, we're going to take advantage of some work we already did. On our spreadsheet, we have estimated the amount of cabling we need for our building. We're going to put a tally at the bottom of our quantity of drops to know how many drops we're installing in the building. That'll allow us to figure out a couple things, the number of patch panel ports we need, and then also, probably you might have already done this last week, how many outlet jacks and those kinds of things we need in our building. So on our spreadsheet we'll do that, and that's going to help us with figuring out some things for our patch panel. After that, we'll look at how we want to divide things up. And it really is up to you. If you want to use 24, 48, 96 port patch panels, it's really up to you. You can use a couple 48s, you can use a couple 48s and a couple 24s. It's really up to you. You'll just need to decide which patch panel is going to get which classroom, lab, that sort of thing. And we'll get to that in a minute. We want to make sure that the patch panels and everything we're using are all the same category. You notice I have that highlighted in yellow. So as we pick out our patch panels, we want to make sure that the category is matching. We will pick out the patch panel and add it to our cost sheet. So actually, let's start off right off the bat with that. I'm going to open up my Google Drive. I'm in my Hack. I'll go Google Apps. Oops. Let's try that again. There we go. I'll go to my Google Drive. I'm going to open up my 140 folder that I have. In here, I'm going to open up my spreadsheet. This should be version 2 down here. I'll open this guy. In here, I believe I did already do this last week, but just a quick reminder, below my quantity of drops column, I will put a total down here. That'll tally up the number of drops we're putting in the building. That's going to help me with figuring out outlet boxes, outlet jacks, and patch panel number of patch panel ports I need, kind of thing. Obviously yours is going to be much higher. I kept mine small for now, but if you put a grand total down here, reminder, just highlight that cell, hit the sum over here, and then select the whole column of numbers that you want to tally, and it'll tally them up and give you a grand total down here. So that would tell me I would need you know, 2 48 port patch panels to accommodate the cable drops so far. Good. I'm going to open up my cost sheet tab, and under my closet equipment, I'm going to start my first item, which is patch panels. I will be adding more to this later, but that's going in my closet, so I kind of gave it a little title of closet equipment. I will go add my patch panel. So I'm going to pick on one of my suppliers we have been using, the Cable Organizer company. Again, as we said before, they have a lot of this stuff, so we'll use them. Coming right in here, I can go into things like networking, network products, that sort of thing, and I might even get the option for patch panel. And actually, there he is right there. I will pick up the option for patch panel, and really the thing I'm looking for is a, you know, category 6. That's what we're dealing with. Basic patch panel. I don't need anything fancy. Here's a punch down, category 6 5E, unshielded patch panel, category 5E and 6. I'll just pick on this guy. I don't need really anything fancy. I just need to make sure it's category 6, and I'll start with a 48 and see how far I get. And here we are. We can do 48 port. I will select my category 6, and there he is. Yeah, it's not cheap. It's a $100 unit, but there we go. That's what I need. And if I scroll down here, they give you even more specifics as well too. Here's your 48 port, tell you black, 2U black. There's the price of the unit. So I will copy this stuff over and put it on my spreadsheet. There's my category 6 unshielded patch panel. And I'll put a note here for myself that this is a 48 port. That way I'm not guessing later. I'll grab my model number. There he is down here, 48 port, and he is $92.93. And I'll put down 2 or 3 at this point just to kind of get me started. $92.93. Yay! Okay, and then I'll put my source in here just so I have that for later. I don't have to go find it. Easy peasy. That actually goes pretty quick. That part of this goes relatively quick. And again, adjust your numbers as you tally up how many drops you need in your building. And again, if you want to do 248s and 224s or whatever, go for it. You're sitting in the driver's seat. Well, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of this. If I keep scrolling, I need to do one more piece here with my patch panels. I now need to start really my documentation of this. I need to document how I'm going to allocate these patch panel ports. In real life, I need all kinds of documentation in my network. I need to know where all my cable drops are going. So I'm going to add a new tab to my spreadsheet where I show how my rooms are getting allocated on my patch panels. So I'm going to, in here my spreadsheet, I'm going to add a new tab, and I'm just going to call it right away Patch Panel Layout. Patch Panel Layout. And in here, I'm going to start copying. I'm going to copy some of this that I need. I'm going to need these guys right here, so I'm going to copy those pieces. Come over to the patch panel layout. I'm going to put them in there. Good. I now need to start thinking how I want to allocate these. Well, to start off with, I'm going to create almost like a little key up here. And if you look at my notes example, this will help you a lot. I need a scheme on how I'm going to label my cables. That's kind of what I'm getting to in this. I need a scheme on how I'm going to label my cables for organizational purposes and for troubleshooting purposes. So I came up with a scheme like so. I'm going to identify the room number that this cable is going to, the patch panel it's going to, and the port number on the patch panel. That way, as I look at this cable label, I know by patch panel number, I know what closet it's going to, and then what port in that patch panel it's going to. So it's super abbreviated, but it's enough that I can read that cable and know where it's going and you know, find the end of the cable. So there's my scheme. I'm going to do a room number, patch panel, port number kind of thing. So up top here, I'll put my scheme, my cable label scheme kind of thing, cable scheme. And I'm doing room number followed by patch panel number, or patch panel number, followed by port number. Something of that effect. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to make that bold, center justify, all that happy jazz. So if I have a room like 101, it might be going to patch panel A as opposed to B, and you know, port 5 on there, or whatever it happens to be. Something of that nature. I'll just center justify these two. Now I kind of have an idea where I'm going. I'm going to add a new column in here called closet. I know what data closet this is going to. Maybe my data closet in my building is 116, so I would know these rooms are going to 116 as opposed to another closet in my building. Maybe if I have 2, this will allow me to keep track of that. After that, I want to start indicating what ports are getting allocated to this room. What ports on the patch panel am I using? So if it's a classroom, I know I'm using 2 ports. So the first 2 ports, 1 to 2, are getting allocated on this patch panel. And let me do some center justifying here. There we go. Now we'll do some bold here. We got to get some bold labels going here. There we go. All right. So classroom 101, or room 101 is a classroom. It's going to closet 116, wiring closet 116, and I'm using the first 2 ports on this patch panel. Actually, I think I want to slide these over. I'm going to do this. There we go. I'm going to slide these over here because I want to do patch panel number because as I fill up a patch panel, it will go back here. There we go. As I fill up a patch panel, I will need to go to a new one. So there we go. These first couple rooms are going to get on patch panel A. Alright, so I have classroom 101. It's going to closet 116. It's going to get terminated on patch panel A, and I'm using the first 2 ports. So my cable label is now going to be, there we go, cable label start, if you will, and then I'll do cable label stop or end. That'll work. Cable label end. Let's make these columns a little wider here. Wider, wider. So, here we go. Oh, come on. Here we're going to have this first cable label is going to be 101A1, and it's going to go to 101A2, meaning the first port in this classroom 101 is going to get labeled 101A1, meaning classroom 101 patch panel A port 1. The next port in the room will be 101A2, classroom 101 patch panel A port 2. And I'm going to start continuing down. Well, the next one on my list is a lab room. That's going to get 30 ports. So this is going to start at port 3, and it's going to go to 33. I have 30 ports there. So this is now going to be 102 is going to go to patch panel A, and it'll be port 3 the whole way up to 102A33. Okay. Now, if you want to start being careful, what you could do is do something like this and make all your port numbers 2 digits. That way, you always know. If you want to be very careful and very specific, that might be a better way to go. The next thing on my list is room 103, so it's a classroom again. That's going to be 2 ports, so it'll be ports 34 to 35. So this one will be 103A 34 the whole way up to 103A 35. And I'm just going to continue allocating my rooms, allocating my patch panel ports to my rooms by this method. Once you get the first room or 2 done, it'll go a lot easier. But you really have to think about how you want to lay your building out to come up with a scheme and get this started. That is one of the main points of doing this exercise, or this piece. You really have to kind of get your brain organized on how do I want to organize my my rooms coming into my data closet. And you're going to get to a point where it's going to get filled up. Move to the next patch panel. Okay, it's getting filled up. I'm going to move to patch panel B. It's getting filled up. I'll move to patch panel C. Okay, not a problem. It's up to you. And if you get to port 35 and you don't want to put another room on because it's going to be too full, fine. Stop it at 35, move to the next patch panel. It's okay to leave a handful of ports open on that patch panel. It's okay. Again, you're sitting in the driver's seat. So what you really want to do, take a minute, get your thoughts organized, figure out how you want to label your cable, then start putting your rooms here. You notice I copied them right over from here. I didn't create anything new. Copied them over. Then I start indicating what closet is going to in my building if you have more than one. And then, again, this is just me. I started figuring out, okay, this is going to go to the first patch panel on my rack, second one, third one, fourth one, and what ports it's going to use. And that allowed me to create my cable label very easily. So if I go back to my notes page, here it is. Here's an example of my patch panel layout in my building. That's the next piece you need to add. So after you've added your patch panel to your cost sheet, which took us a whopping 2 minutes, you're now going to come over here on a new tab and start your patch panel layout. This is some documentation you'll need in real life. So there is your patch panel, adding the patch panel stuff to your BidSpec.